Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's recipe is mac and cheese, a classic that everyone should know how to make. This one's all done on the stovetop, super easy, super fast. The nice thing about it is that it literally takes the same amount of time as making a box of Kraft dinner. But it's much cleaner. It's got real cheese in it and real eggs and real butter and real macaroni. Nothing's powdered and it's delicious. So we're gonna get started. I've gone ahead and cooked the pasta ahead of time because once the pasta's cooked, it all comes together really, really fast. So here's our ingredients. 2 eggs. The recipe literally says dry mustard, but I use regular mustard, butter, canned milk, which in case you're wondering is basically it's milk that's just been reduced so that it's thicker and richer. I grew up drinking this in my coffee all the time. This is what my mom used for her coffee, so it's kind of like having cream without all the fat of cream. It's a really handy thing to have in your pantry. Pepper, cheese, pasta. So what we need to do is we need to whisk our eggs together like this. Stir in half the milk, just like that, and mustard. Now, a 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard. Really, all that is ground mustard seeds, and then you add your own liquid to it. So, because mustard is dried mustard seeds with a little bit of vinegar and stuff. So I'm just gonna give it a little squirt like that. Maybe a teaspoon, whisk that in. Just so you know, whenever you're making a cheese sauce, mustard with the cheese is like the magic ingredient. It pops the flavor of the cheese and makes it taste really, really good. A little bit of pepper. I'm not gonna add any salt because we've cooked the pasta in heavily salted water. We've talked about that before. You want your water to taste like the ocean. So we're gonna head on over to the stove. We're gonna drain our macaroni. You can use any shape you like. I happen to have elbow macaroni, which makes it, you know, the classic macaroni. So we've drained that. Next, we're gonna add the butter, which I should have had waiting over by the stove. We're gonna melt that in the pan, and then we're going to add pasta back in. We are continuing to cook this over low heat. Honestly, even that is questionable because eggs cook at such a low temperature. There's almost enough heat in the pasta to cook the sauce, cook the eggs. The reason we're using eggs is because cooking the eggs is what's going to thicken the sauce. So that's going in there like that. You mark my words, I don't have a big enough pot for all of this. This is going to be a hot mess. I think I am going to grab a bigger pot. Bear with me for a minute. I'm a messy enough cook as it is without making it even worse. So let's do this. There, now we've got room to move. You want to make sure your pasta's cooked al dente, remember? That means to the tooth, so that it's not all mushy. There we go. So now, in go the eggs and half the milk. And we've cooked that for a couple of minutes over the low heat. You can see it start to thicken already. Then we're going to add half the cheese. I happen to have an aged white cheddar here. I always like to use an aged cheddar when I'm making my macaroni and cheese because that, of course, has the most flavor. So that's going to go in here. Oh, This is so good. So, so good. Keep it cooking a little bit. I'm going to add the rest of the milk, rest of the canned milk, and the rest of the cheese. Just like that. Continue to stir it for a couple of minutes so that everything melts and comes together. The eggs do two things here. As I said, they bind the cheese and the sauce and they thicken it. So two things that eggs do: binding and thickening. Plus they add flavor. So look at this. Oh, this is so good. So it's saucy and it's creamy and it's yummy. It will set up a little bit on its own, but you know, you can have it like right now. This is magical, magical mac and cheese. Yummy. So, yeah, basically you're done. Now, if you wanted to, ahead of time, you could saute up some onions and some bacon and add that to it, which is always really good. You could add a little more milk than it calls for to make it quite runny, and then you can bake it if that's how you like your macaroni and cheese. Or you can literally just spoon it out of the bowl, out of the pot, and eat away like this. So let me know how that works for you. Hope you enjoy it. Bye.